Good morning, good morning, good morning. We have Brands By Integra Podcast here today. My name is Jim D'Amico, and what we try to do is bring all of our agents, loan officers, and staff over here to the Brands By Integra Podcast. Let our people and the public know a little bit about who the players are here and what we all do. So I have my long time, probably longest tenured partner in crime, which is, for lack of a better term, that's just being funny. We don't commit crime. But my partner all the way through, Rob D'Amico, my cousin. And Rob, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me. Excited to be here today.
So, Rob, you started working here when you were 15 years old. Tell us a little bit about how you started with me and with the company and what your roles have been, and just kind of give us like history of Rob D'Amico at the company here.
Yeah, so actually, my first ever job here at the company was I caddied for Jimmy in a golf tournament. And that was when he said to me, you should get into the family business. And had no intention of real estate out of nowhere. And then I fell in love with it instantly. I started working as an admin, just doing some back end mailings. I think my first thing you gave me was I had to mail the entire city of Salem, Mass in the old school print, lick the envelope, stamp it. And I did that and flew through it and went into administration, grew up into the print advertising world. I remember the Boston Globe, running the Boston Globe, all the local print, and then jumping in as we transitioned. Then it started to become '04, '05, '06. I started to get into the back office more, the commission processing, the accounts payable. And then we went through the technology era, introducing realtor.com. So now all of a sudden I'm handling technology. Websites were becoming a big thing. And Lead Router, we launched Lead Router into that phase. And then the next step was probably one of the bigger roles I played here or the longest role I played here was recruiting and growth. And I always, tell the story of how I really got into it. And it was, Jim kept telling me for months, I need you to recruit. I want you to recruit. So finally, I knew I had to do it, so I sat down one day and picked up the phone. I had my list of calls and it went horrible. It was terrible the first day. It was, yeah, and I blew that call. But as I started to grow, I started to build more of relationship recruiting. And that became one of the biggest roles that I've carried here for years and still continue to do daily. And then it was training and coaching, got into training and coaching with the Buffini platform. We entered that phase, and then growth and acquisitions and running the day-to-day here now. So it's been a lot of fun, a lot of growth. And I like to say that I've gone through every role the company has, including janitor. So I've done even that. I think Michelle and I paid for our wedding by cleaning all the offices at the time. So I've
Too
literally
funny.
touched every role here
That's
and
funny.
continue to touch the ones that come in.
That's right. That's how we do it. And that's it's funny because and I think you remember this if anyone does, is I used to always talk about knowing how to do everything, like having people who could do it all. Like I worked at Prince Pizza in Saugus when I was a kid, and I worked in the kitchen. I waited tables. I was bartender. I was dishwasher. I was pizza maker. I prepped salads. I did the morning shift, the night shift, the closing, the opening. Like I did it all. So I felt like I was valuable in the sense that they could call me for any opening if somebody called in sick. And that's what I wanted to be. I wanted to be the guy that could do it all. And when you came on, I remember I used to always tell the story about Brody's in Peabody. It was like four guys owned this bar and steak tip joint, and they just took turns doing different things. One night, Joe was cooking, Ted was working the bar, Sam was doing the waitering, and someone was cleaning the dishes. And like they would just rotate. And so everyone knew how to do everything. And I was always like a big fan of that style of leadership style, but also of like staff, like how we want our staff to be. And you know yourself how long we've been doing this together. how hard that has been to find.
Yes. Yes.
So I think we
And
have
that's
it
been
now.
it's been fun. I think that's the toughest part though, is finding people that work like that mentality. And that's something that you've instilled in me since day one. We do it all. That's how it's job security is what I was always told.
That's right. And somebody was like, "Oh, how do you find the people that are so good and they do all this stuff?" I said, "Well, we're really a business acquisition company. I would say, I mean, we're a real estate company, I guess first, but like second, we're really a business acquisition company. Like this isn't about, like what it used to be about, right? As far as like, I used to list and sell houses and you would help me with that, and we did thousands of houses back then. But like now, someone was asking me, and I was like, well, we acquire companies, and we always keep the owner's number two. And they said, what does that mean? Well, there's always one person that runs the ads, that pays the agents, that handles the office, that deals with the vendors, that pays the bills. That's the person we keep. And if you look down the list, it's like the Brenda Whitakers, the Sarah Archers, the Natalie Halls, those people, you know, those are the overlooked, like those are the stars, really. That's the star of the show, is when you're buying a real estate company, because the agents typically, everybody's an independent contractor. So they either have good year or bad year. They stay, they go, whatever the case may be. But that person that ran that office, that's the person that helps us grow the company.
And that's so true. I mean, I have the conversation daily, whether it's we're meeting with, acquisitions, recruits, our own agents internally, but we literally will put our staff up against anyone because we've built an all-star cast here because we've had the advantage. We've spent time. I mean, how many times have we been on Indeed looking for staff, and you bring in these people but they don't understand the industry, or they don't understand how your company works, or the system, the franchise. We've had that benefit of hiring from these acquisitions because you have people that have been in the industry that are familiar with how the business works, with how the day-to-day goes, with how to work with real estate agents to deliver at that top notch. So yeah, we've built an all-star cast because of the growth, no doubt.
They know the brand. I mean, you can
choose.
go down the list. Mary West, Sarah Garland, Sarah Ferguson. Like, you could just do it for days. Jennifer Sheriff, Will Steer. I mean, like, all of our staff.
Masha from recruit, from
Masha
Relo. I mean, every role in this company has been filled, at this point here, it's been from, we've got to pick from the best of the best. And that's why we have the best staff in the country, in my opinion.
And that's the best part. And that to me is what, and Megan Wedlock, Caitlin Byrne, like these people. Caitlin's become our marketing director.
Yeah.
Will Steers just got promoted to our IT director. He came out of Kerrville and Fredericksburg. So, I mean, that's kind of the piece that I love. And, I am an excellent hirer on Indeed, but there's definitely something to be said for these guys that come on, these guys and women who come on from these companies that, they've already been trained by an owner. They've been like what we've been through.
Mm-hmm.
They've been through with their owner. The only difference is we didn't sell. And so, like, you remember how turbulent it got at certain times,
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, I look back, I remember I echo the words, when we went through, and I think we should write this on all the walls, I'll never go through that again coming out of 2010, 2011. That was you, I'll never go through this again. And, I think one of the reasons is because we've built a good staff. I mean, we're not going to have 1,000 staff company. We have the best of the best, and that's how we do it. And I think that's what's made us different from everyone out there is we have, we don't just have people here who are filling seats. We have people who show up, do the job at a high level every single day.
And you remember when 2010 came around, we said, okay, we're going to start rebuilding this thing because we took it apart. We had 19 offices. We tore it down. We went to like 7. I started selling houses
7.
again.
Yep.
You ran the back office. I was out selling houses, keep the lights on. And then in 2010, we were like, all right, we're gonna stop. We're gonna start this thing over and we're gonna build it. What were we missing? We said, we don't have a system in place that's something that we can grow with. So the very first thing we did in 2010 was we signed up for Dot Loop. And that was in 2010. that 16 years ago was still using dot loop today. And I think that the key thing that we did then that we don't do now is we don't change. And that was something we did all the time. We'd have a product, we change it, product, change it, product, change it. We were always changing our offering to the agents because either it got too expensive or it didn't work or whatever the case may be. We've worked through some of that stuff now that I think really sets us apart. We don't change our compensation with our agents that are here ever. You come in, we give you something, you keep it. Like that's just the way we've been since 2010. I'd say that was the big changeover. Was like, and I always hear like I'll talk to other owners like, oh, we're rolling out a new plan to our agents, and I'm like, to your agents? What are you nuts? Like I wouldn't do that, right? Like our agents, they come to work every day, they're happy with what they're doing. We might roll out new attractive like plans, and they could jump on them if they want.
Yep. Right.
But like we're not going to go in and say, oh, we're adding a $200 fee. Like, I mean, it took us 10 years just to raise our transaction fee $50, which,
And
and nobody cared.
think, and all my time here since I started, I think it's been 27 years at this point, and I think we've probably done maybe 2 increases on our transaction fee the whole 20 something years. So
I know we should get more credit.
You know what? I agree.
I think we should get more credit. People should love us.
That's it. I'm with you.
I think that we've always tried to give the agents the best deal we can give them. Like for us, it's always been about the agents. Like from day one, it's always been about the agents. And, the thing that I will say that we're not about is we're really not a toxic agent place. Like we just can't do it. It's just, we're not built that way. We come from, just our family. It's just, we're just not going to tolerate it. Like, so I think that's where we struggle a little bit because you can get a lot of that in this industry with competition and with certain agents and stuff like that. So, we're highly principled and we won't bend on that. And that's something I think that we've even taken a step forward, like even more on, like we really stand on that. And that was something we learned, I think, in Buffini.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, you look at what we've, how we've grown. I think that we've learned through the bumps, the bruises, the bad hires. I think we've developed. I mean, and where we're at now, we've taken the experience. I think some people just keep going and ride the bumps, but we've taken the bumps and we've learned from them, and we continue to do everything better every day, and that's why I think we've come to the point where we're at, and we continue to make every step, every system, everything we do, we look at and say what went bad there, and we fix it. And we do it quick. I think that's something that other people don't do. Is we move fast.
We move fast.
We move fast. When we recognize an issue or we see something that's upsetting our agents or something that's not working, we pull that plug or we fix that issue right away. We don't let that hold.
That happened last week. Last week, I think you and I agreed on doing something and something else changed. I forget what it was. And I called you right up. I'm like, you didn't do that yet, did you? And it was like 5 minutes later. And you're like, no, but I'm about to. I'm like, no, hold up. So like, we do move fast. And that is a good thing in a lot of ways. But also, I think that, back in the day, I think that we moved fast without purpose. I think we have a lot more purpose behind our decisions and the moves that we make. I mean, we've literally become a national company. Like in the course of 5 years, we've gone from 6 states to 21 states. I think we're pushing on 22 states right now. And we don't have like, when we say, and that's the other thing, like, we don't have, like, neither you or people come to you and I all the time. Oh, the company's so big. You guys doing this and that. We're like, no, we're not. Like, no, we're not there yet. We both have that same approach.
We still treat it like it's a small family business. Yeah. I said it this morning. I still treat it like it's just, we're all hanging out in the Linfield church every day.
Yeah, exactly.
We still show up to work. We show up every day. It's, we do the same routine. It's, it's a lot bigger. It's a lot more now, but we still treat this like we're 4 offices.
Exactly. No, and that's the thing too. And like people go, oh, it's so big. No, it's not really that big. Like I know, how do you know? I know a lot of the agents, like I know most of the agents. I know who they are. I know their names. I pay attention. I watch the hot sheets. I mean, we get listings every day, listings, pendings, closings from every state and every market. And it's like, oh, I know that guy. I know that guy. Oh, wow, who's that? And then I'm gonna go looking. I want to find out who everyone is. And we do events, and we have family Fenway family night, and we have our triple play, and we're working on a fall and a winter event, and like I just think that that type of stuff I think is important, but I think that we also um, we try to make sure that we're looking at our costs at all times because we want to be competitive for the agents. Quite frankly, I would rather take a vacation with my family than spend my money to go on a work trip, right? So like we've given agents the ability to come on our trips for free, which is unbelievable. They get full reimbursement on all of our trips. I mean, we're doing things that nobody's doing.
Now, every one of them. And I mean, it's we know what the agents, that's our first priority. I mean, I think the difference is we treat this like a business, but at the end of the day, the agents are our business. And that's our focus. That's our investment, and that's where we spend our time. And you talk about, we go forward with a purpose, and I think we go forward. One of the big changes we've had is we go forward with a purpose and a plan, right? We have the roadmap planned out as well, and I think that's the key is we've learned from feedback from the agents, seeing things that we've made mistakes on in the past and learning and adjusting. And I think that's what we do so well is that we'll continue to be who we are, but we continue to make ourselves better in the process. So our agents are happy because at the end of the day, that's it. I mean, you call me this morning on something. It's always about, no matter how little or how big an issue is, we take every call from the agents. Even if an agent calls, a brand new agent hasn't done a deal, we still take that call, say hello, help guide them in the right direction. We won't stop doing that. I think that's what we do, and that's what's made us who we are, and how we'll continue to grow this thing.
How's it going with new CEO Dan Firda?
Dan is awesome. I think Dan, adding Dan to our team is, I won't lie. I mean, that's a huge relief for me, taking some of the day to day, and helping me with those things. But I don't think we could have picked a better person because anytime you bring in a new CEO into the company, so I had Dan up here last week or 2 weeks ago as Dan was onboarding, and we've spent, 2.5 days together, but that would be something if we brought in somebody from the outside who knew nothing about us, then we wouldn't know what we were getting into, number one. But number two, the amount of, Dan's been with us for 15 plus years to a degree,
Right.
Dan told me when he walked in the first day for him and I to sit that we were, you and me and Michelle were his second meeting ever with the brand.
That's
and
right.
that was, so he was our brand consultant and, helped us a ton with there. But then our growth, all of the growth that we've had, Dan knows every player because of his relationship with corporate. And we've done, majority of gold to golds. Dan's interacted with these companies, the agents there. So he knows the agents, the brands. I mean, the amount of feedback I had just from all the different parts of our leadership here because they all know Dan. So I think it was a seamless integration. I don't think that we could have asked for something better because you have someone that not only
Perfect.
understands the brand, understands our company and our growth, but he also understands how we operate. And I think that's the key because we are, we're sitting here talking about how how we've grown, how you and I work, right? And Dan knows that and Dan works like us. And that's the key, I think, is that we probably would have brought someone in, tried them, and it may not have been successful. Where with Dan, we know what we're getting.
Yeah.
And that was huge. And I think his knowledge for our company and how we operate is key because we are different. We're fast, we're aggressive, and we built an all-star team. And I think bringing Dan in was a huge upgrade for all of us and our agents. I think it's going to only make us stronger, and having him know us is much easier.
He knows us really well, and he still came.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm not going to ask him. I asked many times that week, do you regret saying yes yet? Do you regret saying yes yet? Because we put him to work right away. I mean, that was the first crazy week.
He said, "It's only Wednesday. Is this like this every week?" I'm like, "No, this is a little bit special." Well, we have some new exciting people coming on board with Charles Boyette and Cheryl and Alexa Cavallo and Allison Watkins and all these people that are coming on board and helping us grow. And we got the new hybrid plan that we're rolling out, and I think that's going to be exciting. And we've got some acquisitions in the pipeline. And I mean, but it's funny because even with all this going on, back then it was just the two of us. At least we have a team now. I mean, you have like one of the like unique advantages of anybody in the company. You're blessed because you get to live with Michelle and she works at the company. So you get to do this 24/7 and listen to everything. So how do you feel about that? That's awesome.
I'll use your word, blessed. Should I comment on that? No, it's great. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, it's not always easy, but I think that, it was always us. And, Michelle and I have a great synergy together. And as I say, as much as I hate working with her, I'd hate working without her as well, because she drives us. I think we could both agree. She probably drives you as much crazy as she drives me. But, at the end of the day, she does something that's pretty special. And that's the key of the people we surround us with.
She's the
Sometimes
best.
we got to
She's the
pick and
best.
choose. But, yes, I do have to come home to that every day. So when I think I'm going to shut down after one of those crazy days where we say it's only Wednesday, my Wednesday keeps going after 5. So
Well, she works. I mean, honestly, like she's the best, first of
she
all.
is.
I'm
Yeah,
teasing
she is.
because I love to tease her. She's
Me
the
too.
best. She does her job better than anybody in I put her up against anyone. But the reason why she's so good, besides the fact that she's brilliant in this and she's a savant in this space, she cares so much about number one, the agents, and then number two, that we do the right thing. Like she
Yep.
holds us accountable. So
Yep.
like you can't just be like, whatever. Like she's like, no, no, no. She already gave me like three marching orders this morning. Don't touch that today, she said. But the thing is, and you guys have stayed with us down here in Florida, she goes like early in the morning. She's working till late. She's got Jackson, who's the company's favorite baby. He's not even a baby
He's not
anymore,
a baby anymore.
and she handles a lot. But you come home after a long day, and she's probably still processing closings and
Oh, yeah.
doing her thing. So,
Oh,
and
yeah.
then she gets all the agents. Like if there is an issue, she's the one, or if they're trying to figure something out, she's the one who has to figure it all out. So I'm sure you get to you get to talk about it over dinner, which I'm sure is not always a blessed feeling because sometimes you just want to turn it off.
Not always, but we do it anyways. As much as we say, hey, we're going to start, and then one of us always goes into it anyways. And it's just because this is what we eat, sleep, and breathe, and it's a good thing.
Right.
It's a bad thing some days, but most days it's a good thing. And it's something that, yeah, we care about and we enjoy it, but there's days where it's not easy going home. I have a rough day and I come home and then it's even rougher. And then I got a 4.5-year-old climbing on top of me while she's yelling at me about a commission breakdown or something that didn't work. So that's always fun, but
That is
those are
fun.
where I have to bite my tongue and smile. And because she's great at
Yeah.
what she does. And I don't want to make her upset and mad and have to quit, so I have to
Yeah.
bite my tongue.
We can't. No, we
No,
can't
so
afford
I
that.
say, it's definitely a blessing.
She
Most
tells
days.
me, she tells me what I need to do, and it's taken her about as many years here as you, right? She's here 26 years,
24, 25. Yeah, she's not far
25
behind
years,
me. Yeah.
and I just listen now. I don't want to mess anything up. She really does have everything on lock. I mean, we literally just completed a huge bank transfer. Enterprise Bank, our favorite bank in history, got bought out by Rockland Trust, which has not been a great experience. I was very excited for the transfer. We literally had to move all of our banking, all of our systems, everything had to get moved over to Rockland. If it wasn't for Joe and Michelle and other members of the team, that thing would have been a fiasco. And they kept their cool, which was most important because I don't think you and I could have finished that process. I mean, we literally moved, I think we moved close to 100 accounts on the property management side, and I can't imagine how many accounts and different vendors that were attached to those accounts had to be transferred over. And it's taken what, 5 months, and we're just putting the finishing touches on it this week. But you know, those are the things that not everyone sees. they only see, well, she didn't get, you didn't get back to, well, no, but you don't understand. Joe's in the process of like 10 different projects. So Michelle's in and they're still getting back to people. So
Right
it's
away.
it's amazing. I think the help desk is an amazing invention that you came up with here. That I think that, I remember when we first came up with let's do a help desk at C21, and we used to have like 8 of us on, and
Ah, it was an email. The process was basically when you saw someone answer the email, you deleted the email out of your inbox, and that was
right.
it was like a car crash. Agents were getting 3 responses, 3 different answers because you couldn't wait. That's the other side of it. Is the questions would come in and you wouldn't know the answer. But you can't wait 45 seconds. So you'd have to respond to that agent and give them an answer, and then one of us would have to jump in and correct you and say, "Well, this is the right way." But it's because we want to go fast.
Diane Martin sent a question at like 11 o'clock on a Saturday night, and I just called her. She was like, "What? I don't know. What's going on?" I was like, "Well, you sent the email. I figured you wanted the answer right away."
Yep.
But that's just, I mean, honestly, when people, when it comes to this business, I mean, you and I, we're freaking animals. Like, we're going all the time. So, I mean, I think that's just the way we work, and it's the way it's what we're accustomed to. So, but yeah, I think it's tremendous things on the horizon. I appreciate you stopping what you're doing today to spend a half an hour here, and we'll definitely get you back on here to give us some updates as the weeks roll by. So, Rob D'Amico here, and with the Brands by Integra podcast. Rob, thank you, and we'll see you again soon.
Awesome. This was fun. Thank you for having me today.
You got it.
Awesome. Take care.
All right.